Listening is an act of love. Thank you. You can help lift up the voices, stories, and challenges we share by making a contribution at thiswayout.org.
A sincere thank you to all of you who already support This Way Out. Your support matters.
I'm Marcos Nájera.
And I'm David Hunt.
With NewsWrap, a summary of some of the news in or affecting LGBTQ communities around the world for the week ending March 12, 2022. Guatemala's conservative president, Alejandro Giammattei, surprised political observers this week with the announcement that he'll veto a bill to constitutionally ban marriage equality. Giammattei asked legislators to reconsider the law, noting that his administration had neither introduced nor supported the bill. It would also prohibit schools from teaching anything other than that heterosexuality is the norm or anything that could deviate a child's identity according to their birth gender. The measure doubles as an anti-choice law that would jail women for up to 25 years for having an abortion. It was ironically passed on International Women's Day. Members of Giammattei's own political party were part of the 101-8 majority that approved the law for the protection of life and the family. 51 Congress members of the nation's unicameral Congress did not attend the session. Giammattei's letter to Congress warned that the bill was unconstitutional and would violate two international conventions of which the Central American country is a signatory. It certainly runs afoul of the November 2017 ruling of the Inter-American Court of Human Rights that same-gender couples in all members of the Organization of American States should have the right to civil marriage. Congress will discuss Giammattei's threatened veto in the coming week, according to Reuters. If two-thirds of Guatemala's 160-member legislative body votes to move the bill forward, it will be sent to the president's desk for his promised veto.
Stories of the bravery and resilience of LGBTQ people in Ukraine continue to emerge as Vladimir Putin steps up his brutal invasion, and that's a word that could get you 15 years in a Russian prison. Warsaw Pride chair Julia Masioka told Pink News via Zoom that they were arranging suitable, safe housing for queer people crossing the Polish border. Many don't make it that far. Ukrainian trans people are having particular difficulty fleeing the country because their identification documents don't match their gender identity. People identified as male between the ages of 18 and 60 are required to remain and join the defense effort. Lesbian human rights activist Olena Shevchenko explained the situation for trans people and other minority groups with ID difficulties on Democracy Now!
The case almost not possible for those people who have these male documents still, or for other trans people to cross the border, because during the war, they need to be on the war by law. So basically, they don't have any possibility to leave the country. That's why they are staying in our shelters. And of course, there is an option for Roma people as well, just to trying to cross the border without documents, but it's also very problematic. Even taking into account that we've been said by different bodies, I don't know, in Ukraine, in different countries, that it will be possible for people without documents to cross the border, but it's not.
Transgender people who are trapped or choose to remain in Ukraine need hormones and related meds, and those with HIV/AIDS need access to antiretroviral drugs. Warsaw Pride's Masioka said they need food, they need medical supplies, they need their basic needs to be met. It just hurts to know that they could be hurt at any time. On March 7th, they sent their first shipment of medical supplies to Ukraine with the help of Fundacja Interakcja, a Polish foundation that helps intersex people.
Whoops! How did gay Clown Putin wind up in the middle of war coverage by Bulgaria's major broadcasters? Activist hackers protested Russia's invasion of Ukraine on March 6 by posting the now infamous caricature of the Russian dictator with the caption, "Make love, not war." It depicts Vlad the invader wearing lipstick and mascara with the colors of the rainbow pride flag as the backdrop. The image first surfaced on social media as a protest of Russia's 2013 so-called no promo homo law that banned the promotion of homosexuality to minors. Putin has succeeded in shutting down virtually every independent media outlet in the country that could be providing honest coverage of the invasion. so the Russian people have been force-fed a false narrative by the state-owned press. Ukrainian hackers have managed to post anti-war messages on the homepage of Russian media outlets, hacked legitimate war footage from Ukraine into Russian state TV, and leaked swiped Russian government files, according to Pink News. The head of the Russian Orthodox Church threw himself into Putin's disinformation crusade during his Sunday sermon. Patriarch Kirill named encroaching Western values like LGBTQ pride parades as rationale enough for the war.
Meanwhile, anxiety is mounting over the fate of lesbian basketball star Brittney Griner. The 7-time WNBA All-Star and 2-time U.S. Olympic gold medalist has been in a Russian jail since February 17th. Customs officers at a Moscow area airport detained Griner after allegedly discovering cannabis oil vape cartridges in her luggage. Out Texas Congressman Colin Allred finds the situation extremely concerning. He told ESPN, "I do think that it's really unusual that we have not been granted access to her from our embassy and our consular services. The Russian criminal justice system is very different than ours, very opaque." Representative Sheila Jackson Lee of Griner's Houston home district told MSNBC that COVID protocols had further complicated the process. Biden administration officials fear that Griner will be used as a bargaining chip as hostilities with Russia escalate. Griner's wife, Sherelle, thanked people who have reached out about the athlete's detention in Russia. She posted a photo of Brittney with the message, "I miss your voice, I miss your presence. There are no words to express this pain. I'm hurting, we're hurting. We await the day to love on you as a family."
Finally, the assault on queer kids rages on in Republican-controlled U.S. states, especially targeting young transgender kids and their families. One of the most egregious involves agents of the Texas government investigating and charging the supportive parents of transgender people with child abuse. Opponents have succeeded in getting a judge to issue a restraining order to temporarily stop the investigations. Governor Greg Abbott and loyal henchman Attorney General Ken Paxton are suing the Biden administration for threatening to withhold federal funding over the anti-trans witch hunts. We'll have much more about the Texas purge on next week's This Way Out.
In Idaho, anyone convicted of providing gender-affirming medical care to transgender youth could face life in prison under a bill advanced in the State House this week. Even supportive parents and counselors could be charged. It's always important to note that such care for children under 18 is limited to reversible puberty blockers and hormone therapy. Gender reassignment surgery is not standard practice for younger patients. There's also jail time in another Idaho bill for librarians, teachers, or other school officials who allow minors to check out materials with LGBTQ-supportive content. That book ban passed the House this week and heads to the state Senate. A similar bill passed the Oklahoma State Senate this week and heads to the House there.
South Dakota lawmakers sent a ban on what it calls divisive content in state college and university courses to Republican Governor Kristi Noem this week. She's expected to sign it. Critics warned that its vague language could result in bans on discussion of LGBTQ issues, racism, and sexism. A Tennessee House committee cleared a similar bill this week.
Dozens of other U.S. states are seeing the proliferation of so-called bathroom bills, as well as trans sports ban bills.
Any discussion involving the existence of LGBTQ people in school classrooms will soon be virtually eliminated in Florida if the infamous Don't Say Gay law is enacted.
Gay is not a permanent thing. LGBT is not a permanent thing.
Disney, please say gay.
Tune in to this week's edition of This Way Out for a spotlight on the Sunshine State.
That's NewsWrap, global queer news with attitude, for the week ending March 12th, 2022. Follow the news in your area and around the world. An informed community is a strong community.
NewsWrap is written by Greg Gordon, edited by Lucia Chappelle, produced by Brian DeShazer, and brought to you by you.
Thank you. Help keep us in ears around the world at thiswayout.org, where you can also read the text of this newscast and much more.
And you can read the transcript and listen to NewsWrap each week by subscribing to our This Way Out radio channel on YouTube. For This Way Out, I'm Marcos Nakada. Stay healthy.
And I'm David Hunt. Stay safe.
This Way Out, delivers LGBTQ news and culture to more than 150 local communities on radio stations around the world. And we are also a free online news service.
You can choose your favorite way to listen, online or on the air, at thiswayout.org.
Please sign up for our free e-newsletter, Inside This Way Out.
We'll respect your trust in us and make sure your personal information is never shared with others.
Just send us an email at info@thiswayout.org to receive the informative and unique addition to the show.
You'll be invited to join us for a more in-depth look into our stories and be encouraged to learn more about This Way Out's 3 decades of broadcast activism.
We hope you choose to join us in celebration of LGBTQ history and culture.
Email us at info@thiswayout.org to join the movement.
We'll make sure you always know what's going on inside This Way Out.